What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today I'm in a mood to talk about Aerialbots. I did my Transformers Wave 2 opening, I got 23 packs. Don't worry, I'm going to open more, but for the time being I got 23 packs. I opened them all, and I got, I think, 3 out of 5 of the parts of Superion. I got, not that far away from completing the Aerialbots, so I thought, right, this seems like a pretty good excuse to start talking about Aerialbot formation and Aerialbots just in general, to be honest with you. But we'll start off by talking about Aerialbot formation. What we see here is a weapon upgrade with a blue icon that doesn't increase your attack. Now, starting off right, if it's a weapon that doesn't increase your attack and has a blue icon, not an orange icon, we're going to need something more here. So you can only put it on Aerialbots, but it is literally called Aerialbot formation. What do you expect? And the upgraded character has +1 attack for each of your other tapped Aerialbots. Now, this introduces a whole bunch of really interesting strategy, because you've essentially got to put this on the character with whom you are attacking last. Because there's no point putting this on a character, attacking with them first, leaving them tapped, and then they don't get any attack. Best case scenario here, you've got all 4 of your Aerialbots tapped, other than the one on which this is sitting, and then you end up with +4 attack. And ladies and gentlemen, if you get +4 attack, this is redonk, because the Aerialbots form up into Superion, and Superion is a 5 Transformer combiner. So if it works perfectly, you've got +4 attack, and that is awesome. Incidentally, this is a 25-star deck, so by the time you form up into Superion, you don't actually have any other Transformers out, which means although you could put it onto Superion, because Superion is an Aerialbot, you won't ever have any other untacked Aerialbots, because even if you do somehow manage to play other characters, they won't be Aerialbots. So boo, hiss, etc. So as it stands at the moment, don't put it on him. So best case scenario here, +4 attack. And if you can get +4 attack, +4 attack is awesome. Now, we'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment, but as we're talking about Aerialbots, we really want to try and maximize the attack here. So really, we're talking Air Raid. Air Raid has the highest attack of any of the Aerialbots in Wave 2 that make up Superion. Air Raid in bot mode has an attack of 4, which admittedly is not terribly high, but then again, it's a 5-star character. What do you expect? And then after that, Skydive does have an attack of 3. It's fine, and it does have 3 incidentally in either bot mode or alt mode. And then also Silverbolt does have an attack of 3 as well, and I should mention that that is only in bot mode. In alt mode it drops down to 2. So they're fine. Really what you want to do here is try and get this onto Air Raid, so that you've then got an attack of 8, and now we're looking pretty gosh darn nice. Plus Air Raid does get to scrap an upgrade when you do damage to an enemy, so that's always quite nice. The thing is, this gets weaker as you go along, because as soon as one Aerialbot is KO'd, then all of a sudden you can only have 3 tapped characters, so you're down to +3 attack. If 2 Aerialbots get KO'd, then you've only got 3 characters on the field, so that's a maximum +2 attack. And if you're down to 2 Aerialbots, then you can only have +1 attack. And like I've said, hopefully at some point you drop that Aerialbot Enigma, you form up into Superion, life seems good, except this becomes just an absolutely pointless card, which is, well, sad, frankly, ladies and gentlemen. Little bit sad. Now, while we're talking Aerialbots, I do want to give a shout out to Alpha Bravo. Firstly, first helicopter we saw in the Transformers TCG. He'll always have that. But secondly, when you're in bot mode, you've got PS3. Now, the argument here is, well, hang on a second. Maybe if you get Aerialbot formation here, and then you get a little bit more Pierce going on, And I've got to mention the bigger they are here. And here's what's great about the bigger they are, right? You're a 5-star character. The bigger they are gives you PS4 just so long as you're attacking something that has more stars than you do. Well, you should be. I mean, there's a bunch of 5-star characters now, especially with these combiners coming out. And to be fair, the Devastator deck is bringing us a whole bunch of 4-star characters as well. Yeah, these will happen, but let's not worry about that too much. Most of the time, you're going to be against something bigger. So here, that's going to give you essentially PS7. And as much as PS7 is good, you can only have PS7 if you've got an attack of 7. So now, all of a sudden, you're getting up to 6 with Aerialbot formation. But don't forget that the bigger they are gives you +2 attack. So actually, the bigger they are, combined with Aerialbot formation, if you've got 3 tapped characters, will give you PS7 with an attack of 7. So even though Alpha Bravo might not initially seem like the biggest, baddest bot to use this with, if you can pull off the combo here, you're doing PS7. And if you've got a 5-star character that is guaranteeing 7 damage against one of your opponent's characters, as far as I'm concerned, yes, ladies and gentlemen, all of the yes. So what we need to do is have a quick comparison of this with other ways to increase attack. See if we're actually getting a little bit hard done by. So Battle Ready gives you +1 attack for each upgrade that you've got, but none of the Aerialbots have skills or abilities that allow them to have extra upgrades, which means you can only have 3 upgrades, 1 weapon, 1 armor, 1 utility, which means Battle Ready never gets above +3, and this is better. Leap into Battle gives you +3 attack, but this can give you +4. Now, bearing in mind here, I am talking best case scenario. Best case scenario, you get the +4 attack. Please do bear in mind you won't always get the +4 attack here. And I did previously mention the bigger they are, I mean, only +2 attack, but the PS4's pretty nice. We do have Energon Axe, which allows you to have +3 attack on a damaged character. Also gives you PS2, but it's a weapon, so you can't really play it as well as Aerialbot formation. It's got to be played instead of. And there's an argument that this is better, but I'm looking best case scenario. I'm looking early game, tap your Aerialbots and go. Having said that, your Aerialbots are quite weak. Maybe by the time you get to your 5th Aerialbot, it's kind of a moot point because you've already got a couple of them off the field, which could be a little bit sad. Grenade Launcher will actually give you a +4, but that's only for 1 attack and then it does fall off. And I should mention Static Laser of Ironhide here gives you +3, but you've got to take 2 damage counters in order to use it unless you're Ironhide, and none of these are. To be fair, there are some pretty good options coming in Wave 2. Reckless Charge will give you +4 attack, although at the cost of taking 3 damage at the end of the battle. And these weak characters you generally can't really afford to. Alpha Bravo would go down to 5 health in that scenario. That's far from ideal. Erratic Lightning gives you +3 attack, but it will lower your armor as well, which might not be what you're really wanting to do. I should mention Noble's Blaster here is an option I quite like. It's got the blue and green icon, which is a nice combo. It gives you +2 attack, and if you're against a Decepticon, you do get PS2 as well. So if you don't want to use Aerialbot formation, but you do want to take advantage of Alpha Bravo's Pierce, there are some options here instead of it. And I could not finish this video without talking about Mining Pick here. Mining Pick is very cool. It's one of my favourite cards from Wave 2. One of my favourite battle cards anyway. It's got an orange icon, gives you +1 attack, and you get Plan 2. When you're attacking, you get to put 2 cards from your hand on top of your deck. But then you get +1 for each card you put there, so you can essentially have +3 attack with the orange icon. This could work rather nicely. I adore Aerialbot formation. if you can keep your aerial bots alive for long enough. And no one's really done enough testing with this. Maybe you can abuse stuff like force field, maybe, and keep some of them alive. But the reality is, what you really need to do is get to the stage where 4 of your characters are tapped, and then the 5th one can swing for big damage. And that's without your opponent using something like a ramming speed to get rid of it, i.e. you have to play it at the perfect time. And that's without your opponent KOing any of your characters. And given that you're playing a 5-wide team, which necessarily means you're playing weaker characters, I'm not 100% sure it's going to work. So my conclusion on Aerialbot formation: if you can get it working, it's a phenomenal card, and it is better than the alternatives. But that's if you can get it working, and I don't know how often you'll be able to get it working. And speaking of which, I would very much like to know if you think you can get this working. So please do let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, but please do remember the rule, ladies and gentlemen. Be nice, would ya? And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter at the Wossy, where we talk, well, Transformers and Keyforge and whatever else takes our fancy. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.